How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the Conman Fitness channel. Today we're going to be diving in with macros and giving you guys the basics of something that could really change the way you handle your diet and nutrition as far as trying to build muscle, lose weight, or whatever your goals may be. Macronutrients could definitely change that. If you're new to this word, you never heard it before, you're in the right place. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys everything that you need to know about macros, and then another video which you guys will see in the description, and I'll also show you guys exactly how to figure out what macros you need to be eating, so how many proteins, how many carbs, how many fats you need in your day, and also talk about calorie counting and how to count calories, how many calories you should be ingesting per day, and give you guys kind of the basics of it. So in this video, we're going to keep it really simple and give you guys the basics of macronutrients. And we're only going to be talking about fat, protein, and carbs in this video. There is also another macronutrient, which is alcohol, which we're not going to talk about in this video because it's not really relevant for this. You can go ahead and check that out, look it up, learn a little bit about it, and we'll talk maybe briefly about it, bring it up. But really, you don't need to know too much about it. I did a little extra research on it myself when I first heard about macros because no one really talked about it. But like I said, it's not going to make a big difference for you. You don't log your alcohol as far as macros go. So two different things there. We have our fats, proteins, and carbs. Then we have alcohol, which we'll leave out for today. So let's go ahead and dive in, guys. Macronutrients, like I said, something that could really revolutionize and really change the way that you are dieting and handling your diet. Because like a lot of people, what I did when I started losing weight and trying to get in shape was I said, hey, how do I lose weight? I just got to eat less junk food and cut out all carbs. So I didn't eat breads, didn't eat rice, didn't eat any of that stuff. I was hungry all the time, and I wasn't really seeing the progress that I wanted to see as quickly as I wanted to see it. And that's just because I didn't know about macros. I wasn't getting enough protein or fat or maybe even enough carbs to actually get to the goals that I wanted to get. So in this video, let's go ahead and dive in and teach you guys and show you exactly what you need to know as far as macros. All right, so on the whiteboard, I've already written down macros. We have a whole wall full of whiteboard, so a lot of room. We'll probably use up a little bit today. So first thing, let's go ahead and write them out. We have our carbs, the oh so tasty carbs that everyone seems to get enough of in their diet for sure. If you're getting enough of any of this stuff, it's probably your carbs followed by your fat, and you may be lacking in protein, which is why a lot of people take protein powder, although you probably are taking too much protein powder, or maybe not enough depending on how much you weigh, which we'll talk about in our next video, which will teach you about how much of the stuff you need to actually get in your diet. So we have carbs, protein, and fat. So we got those avocados, those nuts, those tasty things that also do add up quickly with calories. So something that you also need to notice here is you may be wondering, maybe you've had something with nuts in it before. Obviously you have, but maybe you've had some kind of protein bars, Cliff bars, any kind of bar with nuts. Kind bars is a good example, and you may notice that they're typically higher calorie than your bars that are more carb based, so that are made with, I don't know, anything carb related, right? The bars with nuts are typically higher calorie, and the reason for that is because the macronutrient fat is 9 calories per gram. So this is where this rule comes in you're about to hear about, which is 449. You may have heard about it before, but every gram of carbs is 4 calories. Every gram of protein is 4 calories. But when it comes to fat, it's actually 9 calories. So that's why your nutty foods are higher calorie, because every gram of fat is 9 calories, whereas every gram of protein, so your chicken, may be lower calories, and it is because it has less fat. It's going to be very lean, very protein based, whereas your steak may be higher calories because it's got protein and fat. So a little bit of lesson there. This is kind of applicable to real life. You've probably seen this before. You go to a restaurant, you look up nutrition facts, you've definitely seen protein and fat, and you've seen why chicken is lower calorie is because that protein is only 4 grams. Or 4 calories per gram. So anyway, kind of touching on that rule, you see here 449. You probably heard this rule before. It's really great and easy to memorize because 449, protein, carbs are 4, and fat is 9. So where this kind of comes into play when you're looking at nutrition labels, and you may notice that nutrition labels are often, or actually always rounded. So you see 200 calories, 250 calories, 210 calories, but you're never going to see a nutrition label say 203.5 calories, where that actually may be what the food is. So they're allowed to kind of have a little wiggle room there, and that actually is why nutrition labels are oftentimes wrong as far as calories go. Now, it's not bad, they're going to be close, but your macronutrients on the box are going to be more correct. So if you actually pull up here, and let's say your food is, your food of choice that you're eating right now is a Pop-Tart. So we'll go ahead and pull up a Pop-Tart. I don't know the nutrition facts off the top of my head. I have a box over there in the corner, but I'll just make up some nutrition facts. So let's say it's got, as far as protein, it's got 4 grams of protein. We'll say carbs, it's got 27 grams. And then we'll say fat, it's got 6 grams. So all you need to do to actually figure out the calories of this little tasty snack is just go ahead and do protein. Just go ahead and take protein 4 times 4, take your carbs times 4, and take your fat times 9, and then whatever that equals is actually what your calories is. So for this specific Pop-Tart, it would be 16 here, 27, so we'll say 25 times 4 would be 100 plus 2 times 4, 8, so 108. If my math is correct, doing math off the top of my head, and then 6 times 9 would be 54. So you add this up, and man, math is always fun, but let's see. So we'll go ahead and do 108. Alright, so as you can see here, the math probably took way too long to do, but definitely need to work on my math skills. But you can see a Pop-Tart that has 4 grams of protein, 27 carbs, and 6 grams of fat is going to have 178 calories. Now, the nutrition label may just say 180, right? Or maybe it'll say 170, but it's not going to say 178. Now, that's not a huge deal. Like I said, the calories, I mean, we're talking maybe 2 calories off, right, if it says 180. So that's just kind of an idea and kind of applying it to real life where you can see protein, fats, and carbs and kind of breaking that down into their macronutrient grams versus calories. So you guys can kind of see a little bit more about that. And hopefully that taught you something about macros. And where this really comes in handy is actually figuring out how much of these you need per day to look good and actually put on muscle or lose weight or whatever you're trying to do in the gym. This really does come in handy to actually learn because there is an amount of protein you need, there is an amount of fat you need, and then you can fill it up the rest of your calories with carbs. So that's where we're going to talk about that. So you don't need to cut out carbs in your diet. You don't need to cut out fat, and you could potentially be having too much protein if you're waking up having eggs and then having chicken or steak for dinner and also supplementing protein powder. You could definitely have too much protein in your diet. So we'll talk about that in another video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, leave some feedback in the comments below. What did you find helpful about this? Do you like this series? I love the feedback. It's always helpful. And of course, if you want to see more fitness type stuff on the channel, you can always subscribe and stay tuned for more, guys. Check out the description for the playlist where you can go ahead and learn more about calories and your specific macronutrient goals. Thanks for watching, guys. Till next time, peace. And here is the outro.